Because I'm back.
Welcome. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to This Is Not ESPN Sports with your host, Quentin Thompson. And welcome back. It's been a minute. Welcome back. What has been going on around this league? Devin Booker dropped 70 points last week against the Boston Celtics. What do that mean? Is Devin Booker the next NBA superstar? I will let you know about that. We also going to talk about the MVP race. We got James Harden. We have Russell Westbrook, who's on the collision course to ending the season in the triple-double, second to Oscar Robertson, only player to ever do that. We have LeBron James, who's averaging 26, 8, and 8. Shooting 58 and 38% from the three-point line, having a great year to be your 14th year. We have Kawhi, who averaging 25, who's playing great defense. And we have Isaiah Thomas, Mr. Fourth Quarter, who's averaging 29 points and 6 assists and tied for first place with the Cleveland Cavaliers right now. So who do I think is the front runner of the MVP race? Is it James Harden? Is it Russell? Is it Isaiah? We'll talk more about that. We're also going to talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers. And will they repeat this year? Their defense lately has been horrendous. They just gave up 127 to the Washington Wizards in regulation and just lost this past Saturday. So I will speak more about that. We're also going to talk about the New York Knicks. And can the Knicks move on with Kristaps Porzingis as the number one option in triangle offense? We will talk about that. But let's get started with Devin Booker dropping a big 7-0, 70 points. The man dropped 70. Listen, man. First, I was excited to find out he dropped 70. Then in second hand, I was upset because, I played against my brother in fantasy and he happened to have Devin Booker. But, with me losing fantasy and that's gone, I'm past that. But me losing fantasy and now just to go back and watch the game and watch the highlights and seeing what that man put on, the dude was hitting from anywhere and everywhere. I hear people comparing him to Kobe Bryant. I will hold back on that. But I do believe he can be a star in this league. Superstar is a lot to ask for when you don't have athleticism. And you have to have the same passion for the game like Kobe Bryant to be, one of the all-time greats without having the athleticism that the all-time greats normally have, So with Devin Booker, I think, sky's the limit with him and the Phoenix Suns because now you have Eric Bledsoe, you have Devin Booker, and you could draft the kid from Kansas that's coming out of college. With that being said, you also have Tyler Ulis, who's been looking really good since they set Eric Bledsoe out for the rest of the season. You have TJ Warren that's coming off the bench. So you have really good players and Marquise Chris, the power forward, 6'10". He can run the court like a small forward. And he's strong, he's quick, he's fast, he can shoot threes now. So the Phoenix Suns, sky's the limit for them. I think next year, Eric Bledsoe and Devin Booker is going to take that next step like Portland did with Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum last year. I think Devin Booker is now ready to take that next step into stardom. Kind of like a Bradley Beal, just the next step into stardom. He's right there. He's just 20 years old. 21, he becomes a man. He gets his man strength so he could withstand the contact and also this 82-game season. So with that being said, I really believe Devin Booker could definitely be a star in this league for a fact. And that 70 points, man, was very impressive. Let's get to the MVP race. We have James Harden. We have Russell Westbrook. let me be honest, that is the MVP race. You know, we have LeBron James, that's my favorite player. We have Kawhi, we have Isaiah Thomas. Those three guys don't have MVP like seasons, but MVP is mainly about statistics and record. And James Harden has both right now over any other candidate. I mean, Kawhi has the record, but it's only 2 games different than Houston. But James Harden stats is ridiculous. So with that being said, James Harden will be and should be the MVP of this year. It's a close fight with Russell Westbrook. If Russell Westbrook is able to win 50 games and win like 8 of the last 10 games, then I think it should be co-MVPs. But if Russell Westbrook don't win 50 games, you got to give it to James Harden. Not only he statistically, he's playing the game the right way, but if you really watch the game, he's second to LeBron in playmaking. You know, Chris Paul was that number 2 guy behind LeBron, but now, because Chris Paul took a step back, he's getting older, James Harden is number 2 behind LeBron in playmaking and possibly number 1. Really, he has no flaws on the offensive end of the court. This year coming in the season, we had questions about his defense and is he willing to play D? And this season we seen improvement from last year. So with that being said, and his offense got great, and I mean not even great. It was great last year, but it's even better now. Like he's on the pace to being one of the top 5 2 guards to ever play this game. So to me, I think he's MVP, but you got to give credit to Russell Westbrook. And to average a triple-double, even though I think you cheat in the stats, there's a lot of footage and film of you, the team, like the big man was standing at the free throw line, you stand at the free throw line as well, and they'll turn to their man and allow you to get the rebound, or when the rebound's going up, they go down the court so you could catch it, so you can add on to your rebounds. I mean, that's cool, but the energy level and the way you play the game is the right way. But at the end of the day, even with averaging a triple-double, James Harden is the MVP. It's not close. Matter of fact, it is close, but not close enough to be co-MVPs unless Russell Westbrook wins 50 games. Then I think if he wins 50 games, it should be co-MVP. But I don't think that's going to happen. So, got to give that award to James Harden for a fact. We're going to get to the Cleveland Cavaliers, my favorite team that has my favorite player on there. The Cleveland Cavaliers, what's wrong? What's going on? I'm hearing a lot of things. Defense, health, chemistry. To me, it's all 3, all above, plus coaching. Cleveland right now is, going through that growing pains of trying to repeat. It's always difficult. It's just a difficult path because last year you went 82 games, then went an extra half a season in the playoffs to win the championship. And that's a lot. That's a lot to ask for. You got to win 16 games plus the 82 games you just had. And this season, knowing that you have to do that again, it's just a lot. And I think that took a toll. It's taking a toll on LeBron. It's taking a toll on Cleveland Cavaliers mentally. But this is the week where they clear a lot of things up. It's getting too close to the postseason for them to have all of these problems. Not only they having bad defensive problems, which is a big, huge, major key to a championship, they also having chemistry problems. Kyrie Irving's taking way too many shots. He need to pass the ball more. Also toughness. A lot of these guys allowing these guys to go to the basket, or even the mental toughness of this season and coming out to play some of these games against Washington. Not only was bad defense, but they didn't want to play D. So it's a lot going on with Cleveland. But at the end of the day, when you have the best player, when you have LeBron James, he could override all of those problems. You know, when playoff time come, the game will be a lot slower. He will control the pace of the game, and a lot of times when you slow the game down, your defense normally gets better. So with that being said, I believe Cleveland Cavaliers have a, I wouldn't even say minor. It's right in between minor and major. It's right there. It's right there, and if this week they don't clean things up, it becomes a major problem, because you can't just hit the switch like that all the time and think it's going to work. You got to have at least a week or two of playing consistent style of basketball, then going to the postseason with knowing that, all right, we can win this type of way. But with LeBron James on the team, I believe they could clean that up. They're also playing the East, where you don't have competition like San Antonio, Golden State, or Houston. I think they able to beat all the teams out East. Even with just LeBron by himself, I think he could beat all the teams out East. So that's not the problem. The problem is when you get to the finals, you play these West Coast teams, these guys are coming. And they're really, really, really good. So with LeBron, I got faith. I believe with LeBron, he's going to fix a lot of things. He's going to slow the game down. And that, with that being said, the defense will be much better. You know, they got to keep Kyrie Irving off the point guards. He can't guard any point guards in this league that's talented that can score the ball. You have to start the game with J.R. Smith if you're going to start him, or Iman Shumpert if you're going to start him on the point guards. And also, sometimes you may have to put LeBron on the point guards if they don't have a scoring small forward. He should guard the point guards, especially in crucial moments. I know it's embarrassing, but at the end of the day, it's about that time, and it's all about the win. It's all about winning the championship. It's not about people's feelings. Suck that up, your ego, and all of that. If you can't guard them, put the best player available to guard those guys, and right then and there, I think Cleveland will fix up their problems that they have in this regular season. But let's get to the New York Knicks, man, and Kristaps Porzingis, the future of the New York Knicks. Listen, man, I told my brother 2 years ago, Kristaps Porzingis coming to the New York Knicks is not a bad idea. It was actually a good draft pick. For what was after him, it's really nothing. You do have Jokic. That is way better than Kristaps Porzingis. That's on Devin. But nobody really even heard about Jokic. But Kristaps Porzingis, I told him 2 years ago, I'm like, yo, he could be good. He could be a solid player. But a star, superstar, it's not happening. You're too tall to be that weak. It's simple. He's just way too tall to be that weak. You can't play the 5 because you're too weak. You can't play the 4 because you can't go from the paint to the three-point line back to the paint. You can't guard a small forward, 2 guard, no point guard on any switches. You can't guard anybody in this league. And with that being said, offensively, when there's a switch on the point guard onto Kristaps Porzingis or the 2 guard, he's not strong enough to back them down. So on the court, if you're not catching and shooting, you're actually hurting the team. You can't guard your man. You actually can't guard anyone that's on the court. And offensively, you not exposing the switch when they put the guards on you. So with that being said, the future of the New York Knicks should be in a big question mark. It's a big problem. Not only people so caught on to Phil Jackson and Carmelo Anthony, those 2 guys going to be gone sooner or later. Kristaps Porzingis is here to stay. And with that being said, with him being that weak, I just don't see how he can be he could be a star in this league or a superstar. I mean, you think about getting stronger and stronger, but what year? He is way underweight. By the time you get your grown man strength, you add on weight, we're talking about 5th or 6th year? Who's going to wait 4 more years? We don't got time to wait. No fans got time to wait for Kristaps Porzingis to get stronger. 4 years. Because that's what's going to take with him. He is so far away Phil was right. He is a project, and players and we as fans did not see it as that. We thought he came out putting back dunks, running up the court, shooting threes. He started the season well. Last year he had a good rookie season, and now it's like we see what Phil was talking about with this project. This guy is a real project, and it's a big question mark on the future of the New York Knicks. I don't think you can go from Melo to him. You understand? He probably could be a third guy, maybe, possibly a second guy. I'll say more to the third guy, but the future just doesn't look so bright for the New York Knicks. But that is it. Thank you for tuning in. I will be back on Wednesday. Stay tuned. This is not ESPN Sports with your host, Quentin Thompson. I'm back.